Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and I bring you all my discussion video on Yu-Gi-Oh sets. So, if you don't know, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh sets deemed by the community are just bad. Amazing Defenders is a bad set. Tactical Masters is a bad set. Grand Creators is a bad set. Royal Kings is a bad set. The new Water set was a bad set. But I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. And it's funny because when you first would ask if these decks, if these boxes were relevant, I would have told you probably not. But these decks have aged quite well, and these boxes are actually kind of insane. So let's start from the beginning. The reason why I'm making this video today is because I was thinking about it, and Valiance just came out, the new support card. It's not great, but it's still a decent card. I mean, it made me realize every card, every of the three archetypes that came out of Tactical Masters were kind of just insane. Like, I know Valiant isn't the most played deck in the world, but the deck has topped, and it does have an FDK that's still going on right now. That is still a viable deck that people have topped with in the last few months. Another thing is Runic, which at first everyone thought was the worst archetype ever, or at least it was Copium, until they realized Runic Stun by itself is really strong, Runic Sprite is insane, and Runic Naturia is insane. All three of those archetypes are insane with, of course, Runic, because, Runic's in the archetype. But, what I'm trying to get at is that for the longest time, Runic wasn't seen as good. Like, all the way leading up to the set release, people were saying it was a bad set. I remember when I was buying boxes of the set, and people were like, this set is awful. It's garbage. I'm not going to touch it. And then one person realized, wait a minute, the Runic's a level 2. This is Sprite synergy. And then the whole deck exploded. And now that deck's expensive as hell, Runic. But here's the other thing. The third archetype in Tactical Masters was Labyrinth, which is probably the best trap archetype in the format right now. That deck is insanely good, and those cards are still in the $20 to $30 range. So what gives? Why did we think this was a bad set at first, but now, 6 months later, it's looking back at it, it's actually an insane set with three meta-topping archetypes in it? Well, it's just the way how things turn out, I guess. We don't see the full picture. Another set that's just like this is Grand Creators. Grand Creators, when it first came out, was looked at as a garbage set. Like, it's garbage. Why would you want Grand Creators? The only thing that's good in it is the Brave package. Everything else is just pack filler. But then if you remember, wait a minute, it's not just the Brave package. The Exo Sisters came out set, and when Marfa came out, all the Exo Sisters were expensive for a long time. And Exo Sisters is still a relevant deck in this format. I would say it's the top 20 best archetypes to play right now. Is it great this format? Kinda. But it was definitely playable last format, which is saying something for a deck that no one was considering. And another archetype? Punks, which you know how I feel about Punks. Favorite archetype of last year. But still, a lot of people are like, oh, the Punks are just bad. There's nothing to them. But then we got the Dimension Force set, and then we got Power of the Elements, and we got the Furions, and holy shit, Punks are actually insane. And they've been a meta-defying threat since. So I feel like sets that people think are like the bee's knees age worse than the sets that people think are bad. Does that make any sense? Because no one buys the bad sets. Tactical Masters cards and Power of the Elements cards are two different price ranges. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still some Power of the Elements cards that are expensive, but compared to Tactical Masters, there's more bombs that if you pull that box, that you'll pull from that than the current Power of the Elements box, since there's been reprints and cards have been banned and things like that. So I really don't know why people say sets are bad. Here's another good example. The Infinitrack box. Now, don't get me wrong. Infinitrack by itself for the longest time wasn't a good archetype. But wait a minute. We also got the Witchcraft in the Evil Eye archetype in that set. And yes, Evil Eye just now topped, now that we got a actual good wave of support, but that's still a top. Not to mention, Earth Machine has been a relevant deck for the last few years. So to say that set was bad is a very big understatement, I would say. Now, is it taking a while for those receipts to come in? I would say yes, but it has come in. Earth Machine is still a really strong deck, and as for Evil Eye just topped, like I said, and it didn't win a regionals, they topped the regionals, which is still something. Who would say Evil Eye in 2023 was going to top anything? And here's another set, the Water Support set. Not only did we get Droplet reprint, but we also got, look at that, Marincess support, which was kind of insane. It put Marincess on the map for a couple weeks. And not even just for a couple weeks, people are still playing Marincess to this day at regionals. That deck is not bad at all. So that's just my opinion. I think sets that people deem are bad end up just being better than the sets that people think are good. Because everyone buys the good set to the point that everything drops in value. So that in the new sets, the sets that people think are bad, the Amazing Defenders archetypes, the things like that, those sets go up in value. Like, for example, all the Melfi cards are still expensive. They're like $10 each or like $30 each for like Melfi main deck monster because, oh no, it's not Melfi, what do I say, Pearlies, the Pearly monsters. Like, all those cards are still incredibly expensive. Like, they have spell cards that are $18 each. They have other spell cards that are $15 each. They have one main deck monster, and that thing is like $30 each. I know it because I own it. And I bought them when they're like $10 each. So that just shows you how sets depreciate over time and how other sets go up in value. Because you just don't know. When Konami releases something, it may not look great at first, but it ends up getting much more valuable in the future. We didn't know where Punk was going, but look at it now. It's one of the best decks in the format, I would say. Same thing with the Exo Sisters. We didn't know where it was going, but it became one of the best decks for a format. That's pretty solid. It's arguably not the best deck. It was kind of copium like Evil Swarms were, but still, it was up there. People were playing it, and people were getting tops with it. So that's really all I gotta say about this. Don't look at sets as bad sets, because they are generally bad sets, but in a grand scheme of things, as they're bringing out new cards that have potential in the meta, they're not really bad. Like, people are sleeping on the Amazing Defenders. Give it a couple months once Pearly is actually a good deck, which will be literally in a month from now, and that deck will be like, why did we buy Amazing Defenders? Because all those cards are expensive as hell right now. I can only imagine what will happen once we get the new dog. And they have that freaking XYZ Towers monster just leaning over them that's drawing 3 every turn. We'll just have to see. But anyway, that's all I got for you all today. Hope you all enjoy. Tell me in the comments what's your favorite underrated set. And do you think my opinion's wrong? Do you think that Tactical Masters is a shitty set? Do you think Grand Creators was a bad set? Because personally, I think Grand Creators aged better. Because there's still $30, $40 cards in that set. Foxy Tunes, the last time I checked, are like $25 each. Which is kind of saying something for a card that used to be like $10 at most. Or like $5 at most. So I'm actually kind of happy about my investment. That those cards went up and are staying up. So, hey, do not knock sets that don't have their potential. Every set has potential. Just don't knock away a bad set because it doesn't scream value at first. All these people are saying, that set's going to be ass. Look at it through months later. Labyrinth cards are literally the best deck, one of the best decks in this format. Labyrinth is like, I would say, the third best deck in this entire format. And it has some of the strongest cards, and they're all printed in Tactical Masters besides the new Welcome Labyrinth. And no one was talking about that set until this, so hope you all enjoy. See you all in the next one. Bye-bye.